Two, you on.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Motivational Mondays. Your boy Talon in the building, trying to get you to get it together. We're talking to three people out there. It ain't but three people in the world during this pandemic. The people that's on the ledge. We're trying to talk you off the ledge first and foremost. And, we're here for those people who are not that far away from jumping off the ledge or being on the ledge. And then people number three is people like myself. I don't consider myself on the ledge. I don't think I'm close to the ledge, but guess what? We all got to be prepared because these things are changing in 12 to 24-hour basis. This is a new world, people. It takes for us to get on every Monday and then talk to each other and go back and forth and try to drop some jewels for people who do not know or need help to understand it. This is a crazy time as we know it. So first and foremost, I always say when I come on Wednesday, how was your weekend? And people think that a lot of times that I say that, just how we normally used to say it in jest or in passing. Hey, how was your weekend, man? What'd you do? Whatever. But now on motivation time, I really genuinely am checking on the 2 or 3 days before you made it to Monday. Because Monday is traditionally the start of a business week or work week. A lot of us ain't even working. But we've still been so conditioned for so long that Monday is still the front of that week. Because we got to go off the powers that be and people we deal with. So I say, how was your weekend? Literally meaning, what did you do this weekend? Because one thing I've learned is these days start to bleed together and you can definitely transfer the energy from your weekend to start your week. That's why now you got to be prepared to eliminate, if you will, or cut down on certain energies that lead you into starting your week with a bad energy as well. You know what I mean? Like I always, tell people I do this, I'm still quarantining myself. Like I do very minimum dipping away from the homestead. And because I don't believe that like this, things are going to change and boom, you're safe. No, it don't work like that. This thing, proof is in the pudding. We've seen the power of this thing, this virus, COVID-19. We've lost loved ones, friends, colleagues, co-workers. So knowing what we know, we have to move and step accordingly. So I know that on the weekend, if I do something at the house, what I call driveway drinking, we sit in the driveway, sip, we may throw something on the grill. We made, like yesterday, fish fry, whatever. But those people around me, I make sure on purpose that those are certain type of energy people, if it makes any sense. Because I don't want to be around people that, first of all, energy is very real. For all you people, I'm not superstitious, whatever. Okay, whatever. You can call it what you want. Energy is very real. And I strategically make sure myself, I'm out of a certain type of energy's harm's way. There's good energy, there's bad energy, there's negative energy, and then there's heavy energy. Only one of those are good, and it's called good. So bad energy and negative energy, both do you no good. Two different things do you no good. Heavy can be bad as well because you have to know how much weight you can take on yourself. You know what I mean? If you're around somebody that has real heavy energy, they spin it off, and you're trying to be, come to the rescue or help out or do your part, it may be too much heavy energy for you. And you may take on more than you can carry. It's like going to the gym. When you go in the gym to work out, you don't just walk in the gym and go, throw everything on this shit, I'm lifting everything. You don't do that because you're going to kill yourself on the first day in the gym. You step on that treadmill and you don't just hit buttons and go right to advance and you ain't been on no treadmill. That thing will go too fast and you're going to die on your first day in the gym. So I use that analogy to say the same thing with energy that you take on. You have to be careful of the energy that you take on. Some people want to come to the rescue of somebody and you take on the energy, and before you know it, that energy is too heavy for you to take on and it does damage to you. Somebody hits you, oh man, he about to evict me. I don't get this $500, they're going to evict me. You go into your stash, pull out $500, give it to them. Now they're not getting evicted. Well, guess what? That was $500 out of your rent. Now you got to notice. You just transferred that problem, which was too heavy for you as an individual, and made it your problem. Now, yeah, they're cool. They're not evicted, but now it's on you because you wanted to jump out the gate and do something good, but that was too heavy for you. It's a reason why I just lost a good friend. Shout out to the Craig family. Comedian Tyler Craig passed away this past week. And a perfect example is the family, you know, it was so unexpected. It wasn't COVID. It was a heart thing, a valve thing. And it was so unexpected that the family needs help to bury him in a timely fashion. So they throw up a GoFundMe. People that throw up a GoFundMe, they kind of understand the weight and the heaviness of their thing, whatever their thing is, because they're not saying, hey, we want 10 grand. T, give me 10 grand. Joe, give me 10 grand. Yo, they're not saying that. They're saying we need 10 grand. And they say, here's the link to donate. And please share it. Get it out there. Help us pass it on. Because they understand that those nickels and dimes add up. And collectively, in 48 hours, he had so much love in the world for making people laugh for so many years, and a funny comedian, they got the 10 grand. But this is a weight that we all individually and collectively could handle, because it wasn't the 10 grand weight on us. We wasn't trying to come in there and be that night. We wasn't Sir Lancelot there. We were coming in there and saying, okay, you know what? We put a couple hundred to that. Somebody, let me put 50, whatever somebody could do. But the point is, they collectively came together and was able to make that happen. You know what I mean? So with that being said, that's part one of how was your weekend? Who were you around? What did you do? Was you productive? Did you just relax, because your week is crazy? It could be anything, but I mean that in the most sincere part that leads to that, because it can be contagious and carry on to becoming a negative for your Monday. So Motivational Monday ain't so motivated no more. Understand that. And when I say circles, watch your circles. Your circles are people, but people have a certain energy about them. Energy is real, people. And are you surrounding yourself around the correct energy, or are you being open and suspect to be contagious to a bad energy or a negative energy or a real heavy, too heavy for you energy? As we get older, we have to get wiser. We have to recognize these things as they are in front of our face. I know people that, I may like, or they cool or whatever, but I know their energy is bad for me and my energy. So I have to recognize that as I get older, and I have to separate myself. I always tell people like this: you are a walking billboard of yourself, believe it or not. You are your own garden. You are the biggest rose of flower in your garden. And sometimes the same way people take care of a garden, they have to come out there and go through their garden and pull out the weeds. Sometimes you have to become the weed whacker, or, the weed sterilizer, or the pesticide, and get rid of those weeds so that the garden can grow, can flourish. That's what motivation is all about. It's about, putting that battery pack in our back to letting us go forward and knowing that, yo, man, we can grow, but to grow, I need to do X, Y, Z. So that's, what Motivation Mondays is. So when I say, how was your weekend? I'm not saying it the way we used to say it in the normal world, where it's just, hey, how was your weekend? I'm saying it in a checking on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being at the same time. I'm really checking on you. Because think about it, it's when you think back in the day when we were younger and we like to go right from the from partying in the club, take a quick shower, go right to work. We know when we made that decision, say Sunday night, late night, I'm going to this party, I know I'll be tired as hell at work tomorrow. That's physical. You knew you was going to be tired the next day at work. That's physical. So now, because a lot of us are in quarantine mode or moving around very little, some of us not even working, now ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like that same thing you apply that tired you out physically, you know, where are you with it now? So that's why I say that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really apply these thought processes to what you're doing, because Monday, again, you're starting your week. Are you going to start your week with the same energy? That means it bled over. Is you going to start with that bled over energy, or fatigue, mental fatigue, emotional fatigue, spiritual fatigue? You have to make a decision that, okay, it's the weekend. As we get older, we get wiser. I'm going to do X, Y, Z, boom, boom. But that whole Sunday being the Sabbath thing, I take that way more serious these days, because I know that my Sunday is the last hours leading into Monday. And if I, you know, for lack of a better phrase, like blow my load or shoot my joint and go shoot the shot over the damn backboard, I shot it too hard and went too hard. Here I go with a sluggish Monday. I'm not motivated. Actually, I'm more motivated to do less. So I say that to say, when I check on you and I say these things, you know, how was your weekend, all that stuff right there, you know, it's the real deal. You know, this is what, you know, we are looking for, people. You know, we're not playing around. So with that being said, we're going to jump into, I got a couple of guests this hour. I want to jump into, you know, my first guest, who's been waiting in the studio. This brother right here has been a pioneer in the rap game. He did one better. He upped all his colleagues in rap and motivated himself. That's why I thought he was perfect for Motivation Mondays. Motivated himself to become Esquire, bro. Go to law school, put himself through law school, do what he got to do, because these rappers, and I'm sure he'll tell you, they rely on lawyers to cut deals a lot of the time. And sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the lawyer. But now he is the lawyer. So he's not just rapping and dropping his music, which he got some new music we're going to talk about as well. But, you know, he switched the game up. Now, if that ain't motivation for your ass, I don't know what is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here right now. Motivation Mondays. Give it up for the rapper extraordinaire, the MC of MCs. Where's Trey Lee, Philly's own? Trey Lee in the building. Yo, bring Trey Lee in right now. That's the homie right there. What up, fam?
Ain't nothing, man. What's the word, brother?
Listen, man, it's all good. Now, I like that backdrop, son.
Hey, man, you know, we promoting product right now, man. This is the album. It's called Glory, you dig? You know?
Yo, that's fly, man. I cannot be mad at you right there, man.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So welcome to the show, first of all. This is Motivation Mondays, brother. And I had to bring you on because thinking of you as an artist, as a lawyer, as an entity, I said, yo, this dude is the embodiment of motivation.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
You know what I mean? And how did you get to the point where you made that decision? Let's deal with that first. Like, here you are, this hip hop artist, you're doing your thing, you rap with all the iconic dudes. You held your own with Big on the joint, man.
Thank you.
Like, we could argue what verse is better. You know what I mean? It's argumentative.
Thank you.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's something to be said.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So you're doing all that stuff. You know, you got hit records. You're in the game. But I guess what I'm asking is, did your coattail get pulled and say, you know what, I got to change up?
Yeah,
to protect myself.
It definitely did. I mean, the business did the coattail pulling. It was the business itself, because of, you know, from a hindsight perspective, like, as you go through the business and as you see certain things that you probably weren't paying attention to when you got your deal, because the motive for, you know, you signing that contract was really, at least for me, was years and years and years of trying to get on. Now I finally get on. It's like I'm blinded to everything else. It's like, now here's my opportunity to get my records heard and me to, you know, be heard around the world. Well, when you get in it, you understand that it's not really what you thought. You know, it's not really what you thought it was designed to be, you know, and really it's majority business. It really has nothing to do with the talent. You know what I'm saying? It really has nothing to do with the skill level. It's really about politics. It's really about, you know, what circles you're in and who you're surrounded with and by and all this other kind of stuff. You know, the skill can sustain you once you get all of these other things, you know, in place. But if you don't have those things in place, the skill it's not going to get you far. So what happened was, you know, a lot of these things weren't in place. A lot of these things fell by the wayside, where they were in place in the beginning, but they fell by the wayside, you know, after the first project. And it was kind of like I was in the business fending for myself, really, especially after, you know, By Storm left Universal and went to LaFace. I was really in that building on my own. So it was like, and then here comes Cash Money. Here comes the Saint Lunatics and Nelly and all of that. So they're getting the majority of the attention. They're getting the majority of the push, and therefore Trey Lee is slipping further down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because there was no representation in the building. So once that happened, it was like, okay, your services are no longer needed, and I got dropped. You know what I'm saying? I made you know, after many phases, I made a project. It was done. You know, I got the budget for it from Universal, but they shelved it, you know what I'm saying, after it was completed. And so, you know, I had to kind of do some soul searching, had to think about it a little bit, you know what I mean? And therefore I went down to Atlanta. I went back home to my mom's crib first, and then she was like, nah, you got to get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? And so she was like, nah, you know, you got to go figure it out. So I went down to Atlanta, moved in with my brother, and then he wound up going to grad school. And so I met a young lady down there, and, you know, we were living together, and it was like, you know, it wasn't sitting right. So, you know, I'm a very spiritual cat. So I, you know, I did a lot of praying, man, got down to my last $7. You know, I had saved up, you know, kind of managed my money pretty well being in the business, but, you know, got down to my last $7. And I was like, what I'm going to do with the $7? Go get a burger, and that's it. I gave it to God, man. I went to church, put it in the pan. It's like, you know, I don't know what the reverend is going to do with it, but I know I'm really giving it to God to kind of figure my life out. And then so I get a phone call from Wayne Barrow about a week later. Again, you know, Universal, they got a check for you, but they don't have an address. So, you know, you might want to call this number, So I call the number. And then, you know, gave him the address. A week later, I get a check for $7,000. And then a week after that, I get another check for $57,000. So now I'm like on a path to, okay, I got to figure out what to do with this. And then that's when it dawned on me to go to law school. And so the rest is history from there.
Well, see, that's amazing. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's amazing, you know, whole story of motivation. But because it's like 100 parts of that story, Trey, that said to me, that screamed out, you know, give up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like 100 parts in that story that screams out, give up,
right,
go left.
Right.
You know, and going left can mean a lot of stuff. Going left could mean life of crime, you know, kidnap, ransom. Like it's so many extremes and levels of going left mean, and everything in your story, you have so many points in there that scream, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let me do the wrong thing. And you got wise. Like you said, I gave it to God. I went in here, I threw this in here, gave it to God, and see what it was going to be. You know what I mean? And you did the right thing. So I love the story. I want to get into the album Don't Move, but I want to bring in KB because I know KB's chiming in from work and he got limited time. Let me bring my brother Kevin Bracey in. Is KB in the studio? Bring him on in here real quick. I want to bring him on the show as well this week because KB is one of those dudes like, what up, KB? How you doing, sir?
Yo, what up, T?
Mr. KB, we call him KB. Kevin Bracey, this is my man Trey Lee, rapper extraordinaire. You already know what it is. You know, we're in here motivating people today.
Yes,
I wanted to bring KB in because KB does this thing, Kicking It with KB, on Saturdays at 12:30 on his IG Live. And what's dope is he's motivating people with these interviews. KB's been in the business, you know, on the video host side. Now he's on the beverage side, the club promoter side. He knows so many entertainers like me and you, Trey. He's connected like us in that entertainment world. So what he does is he just kicks it It's called Kicking It with KB. He just kicks it every Saturday for an hour or so on his IG Live. But the people he kicking it with, people of influence like yourself and myself, where he get people to tune in like, oh my God, like people hitting him up like, how much it costs to talk to Rod Strickland? How much it costs to talk to Allen Houston? You know what I mean? And it's just, KB's just a man of influence. KB, so I wanted to bring you on here because whether you know it or not, brother, guys like you who do that, who dedicate that time slot consecutively and constantly, you have consistency, so you become a motivator.
Oh, okay.
You become a motivator. You become a place to go. Like, you gotta realize something. It's like Trey Lee. Trey Lee's an artist, a very good artist. So when I'm feeling a certain way, like yesterday,
Trey Lee from Philly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Trey Lee. Yes, sir.
All right. I remember I met Trey with me and Ron Lawrence grew up together.
Yeah.
From Delaware. We went to the album release joint back in the day with the joint that Ron did.
Yes,
And then you came to Ron's birthday party one year.
Yes, sir.
Connections, brother, connections. And you got to understand, it's like when I'm in a certain mood, or like people in general, we throw on a certain beat or certain music. When we clean the house, growing up, you throw on certain. Exactly. So I'm in my driveway drinking yesterday. There's about 10 of us sitting around. We killing the tequila and everything. I dropped that, and like my little thug, so-called thug cousins, they look up from the table playing cards like, yo, word? I'm like, yeah, word. But it put everybody in a mood, you know what I mean? Good music mood. So KB, you got to understand, you sit in that pocket where now that you've been doing it, how many weeks you been doing it, bro?
It's going to be 18 coming up. 18 weeks.
Come on, man.
Come on. It was just off the me just, like I tell you, was watching LL do his thing. He was going there, I'm watching LL. He's going through his joint and picking people at random, and they just bugging after they talking to LL. And I was like, I got my little Rolodex. Let me go through my Rolodex. And LL ain't the only one. I got a Rolodex too.
Yeah.
So I went through my phone, and I was thinking, I was like, how do I switch it? How do I kick it with somebody? Then I was kicking it with KB. Just talking like we on the phone. Right. So let me hit people up. So the first person I hit up was Kenny Anderson. I said, yo, Kenny, you want to do this? Yo, KB, I got you. Boom, we knocked that out. Because everybody knew Kenny, from balling, and then he had a stroke. So I want people to see how he's doing. And he's coaching college basketball now. And I was like, all right, let me do Rod Strickland. I hit up Rod. Yo, Rod, you want to do this? Bet, let's do it. And then I did Johnny Newman. Then I did a high school player. And then I was just like, and so it's not all about the viewers who's watching at the time, but it's the views that happen after.
That's what I tell people. Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, 900 people watch this shit? Like, oh, damn. Then I had Malik Yoba, I had Lamar Rucker, and they just go on. I had you, I had Kid. People bugged out when they saw Kid from Kid and Play. They was like, how the hell we grew up together. He's from my neighborhood. I had Kid on there. Then I had Colette, who coached the Jets for a little while, the first African-American female football coach in the league. I had her. That's my little sister.
But you don't understand. All of these names you're dropping, right? All these people you're talking to, they're accessible to guys like yourself. We're connected, right? So a lot of time we take that for granted. You know what I mean? And a simple conversation with a Lamar Rucker, who's on all the Tyler Perry stuff and Why You Get Married and all that, to somebody else, they're staring at the screen like, yo, that's dope. Now, all they need to do is know you. So by knowing you and you know them, vicariously the connection continues and you become a motivator. They're motivated now. They're officially like, I know KB, and KB was talking to so-and-so. So you become a motivator, especially with, I always say this, it's one thing to jump out there and do it sporadically, right? It's another thing to add consistency to what you're doing. Like Trey Lee does the same thing with music. He'll be going in the archives, and not only is he playing music, he's educating through the music. I've watched a brother play a record and just stop everything and go into dialogue and explain it to you because you may just know the beat from something. And Trey will go into, Ohio players smack the shit out of Earth, Wind, and Fire to get the snare and the hi-hat, and then they got together and they give him $50, and you sitting there like, oh, wow, okay. So when people have these places to go, you gotta realize, man, I know that we have a president that's right now trying to push things forward really fast. And because it's election year, we 2 months out. So I understand why and the craziness, but the reality is we still 30 million people on unemployment. Mm-hmm. So we got people, what I call it this show, when I do Monday, I start my show off by saying, you got to realize it's 3 people in this world right now. In this pandemic world, it's somebody that's on the ledge. These are the people we need to reach every week to talk them off the ledge, because they are one discussion or one check not coming in the mail or one argument or one eviction away from ending it all. Then we got people who ain't but 2 steps from being right there.
Word.
And then we got people like us who may think we got it together, but we still need to hear, on a continuous basis, man, I like what you're doing, bro. Yo, that's positive. You know what I mean? We need that because otherwise you think you're winking in the dark. Like you said something that was interesting, KB. I talked to at least 4 people who started to go live, right, on social media, and then they stopped. So in passing the conversation, I said, yo, you did something, 2 weeks ago, what happened? Man, I had 4 people watching, blah, blah, blah. I said, you can't be concerned with 4 people at the moment you do it, brother. You just said the key thing. You walk away, you save that to your archives, right? People will pass your page. Like you said, you go back, you be like, damn, 900 people seen this? Now, 900 people wouldn't have seen it had you deleted it because 4 people watched it in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yep. Yo, so right now, Lamar Rucker's joint, and we did 2 parts because we did it,
right,
and he wanted to go into another hour. I was like, yo, fuck it, let's do another hour. That's right. When I realized how to record it. I fucked up on us last week because shit cut off on us. But
so you figured out how to record it and keep it
and
going.
then I put it on my IGTV, and then I went back. That joint was up to like 1,200 people, 1,400 people. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, people still watching that Lamar Rucker joint? And you just never know. And people are really tuning into it. So I'm having fun doing it, man. I like to, just like when I have my kids, my youth group, I like to expose them to stuff that I was exposed to. Like I used to bring my son, basketball camp. I got pictures of him with then every NBA player because I know them, so they know him. Right. So now when I see Charles Barkley, he's asking about Brian. He ain't saying what's up to me. Yo, what's up with B? How Brian doing? Like, this nigga ain't talking about.
But
yo Brian, Charles Barkley asked about you. He said, "Oh, tell him I said what's up." Like
it's like nothing. Like but that's what I'm saying. We are a community that lives vicariously through each other. You know what I mean? And I just had to take a moment to bring you on here to applaud what you do. And remind you. That's my thing. I grab 2 motivators each week, pull them on here, and remind them that you are motivating. Like people have to remind me sometimes. Like a dude hit me today, and I do so many lives with so many different, areas and avenues I'm going down that I didn't realize. Dude called me this morning and said, "Yo, man, you realize you done took your live and everything, and you done made your own station. Like you got you got the news, you got the music, you got the laughter, you got 5 shows and they 5 different things. You done started a station." I was like. He's like, dude, you got a network. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even look at it like that. I just looked at it as these voids that needed to be filled. I thought that we was in a state of emergency due to divided states. I thought that, people, depression and stress is at an all-time high. Motivate Monday. You know what I mean? People need to laugh. All right, when we was White Wednesday, let's laugh at back in the day, white videos and all that, but people love music. Okay, let's do our bump and grind cafe on a late night. Like, so I'm thinking, these are voids that we can get in and plug these voids and fill it. Now, fast forward 3-4 months, I got actual sponsors kicking in to these live shows. Mm-hmm. That's dope. Like, how can I send you some money so you can work? I said, okay. I had a girl from a jury girl, right? She's a jury consultant. Hit me out of nowhere. Yo, how could I give away? I see you doing this game show thing with the music. Let me give some giveaways, some jewelry. I'm like, all right. So she said, let me do 1 week. She did 1 week, gave away 6 winners, 4 pieces of jewelry, right? For 6 winners. And then 2 people called me after that show and said, yo, we don't have nothing to give away, but we got money. So how about we give you money to keep giving away that stuff? And I'm like,
Why not?
I was like, girl, back. I said, yo, how much is your stuff? She said, oh, this, give me the price list. I said, yo, I got people, you're going to make $500 a month doing this giveaway. She said, what?
Mm.
And all because she's seen something, her little business called in and said, yo, I want to give away some free stuff. I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't solicit for stuff. It came to tuition. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got money people that come in like, you know what? We like this. We like what you're doing. You know, we got money. You know, you can shout out where the money came from, but, you know, do what you do with it. Whether you buy your T-shirt, send your T-shirt, do the jewelry girl. So I'm like, you know what? I'm applying it to the jewelry girl because she volunteered, gave her stuff away.
Yeah.
Take that money, give it back to her.
Yep.
She just came up. I just want to, on us, just like I said, by connection.
You
know
never
what I mean?
know who. You never know who's watching, and you never know who needs it.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's why you keep doing it, because you never know. Like, so that like you brought it up, that person that said, "Oh, you know, I stopped because there's only one person that was watching." Well, you don't know that one person needs that. You know,
and that one person could be the game changer.
That's right.
That one person, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We learned that in comedy, man. 20 years ago, we used to be at the weirdest places doing comedy. And the biggest people that can help you in networking or gig-wise or entertainment-wise or film or TV, they in there. No, one night we was in, you know, KB, we love Taj in Manhattan. Yeah. One night we at Taj, Val Kilmer getting drunk. Val Kilmer in there getting drunk. End of the night, yeah.
Wow.
You guys are funny, blah, blah, blah. What's everybody getting paid? I say, the budget, these comics, $1,000 between these 3-4 comics. You know, give them double it up. Here go another $1,000. I'm like, yo. Who drove us up?
Right?
Yeah. How can we do this? And you have entertainment white boys. They're not walking around. Like if there was a black actor, he probably would have had the knot in his pocket.
Yeah, right.
White guy trying to figure out how do I take it off this card, turn it into cash, and they did it though. They made it happen. We just charge $1,000, and then we take it out the register, and we was like, yo, this is I remember riding home, and everybody's like, how crazy is that? Batman, remember Val Kilmer, Batman.
Yeah,
Batman gave us $1,000. That's what they were saying back then. Batman gave us $1,000.
Yo, that's crazy.
KB, but thank you, man. I just wanted to remind you who you are, what you're doing, bro.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for the love, man.
Good to see you,
Trey Lee, man. Good to see you, fam.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I'll make sure I connect y'all too, because I know it'll be perfect on your show. Yeah, it'll be perfect on your show.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you, brother. That's brother Kevin Bracey. We call him KB. You see how we don't even know people be connected like that, Trey?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy, man. Now, he's a good brother, though. KB, he played on my basketball team down in the city for years. You know, he got that new plush vodka. He got that beverage. They've been pushing that plush vodka crazy. I should have talked about that, but shout out plush vodka and all that good stuff. So now back to the nitty gritty of the story of the one and only Esquire, Trey Lee. So I want to know, Trey, there's no music. Now you're sitting in front of the Signs Glory, right? The album?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So take me to how we got here and what this album's about.
Well, you know, really it started, and shout out to my brother OJ's, man. He produced the entire record. He produced the entire album, my previous album that I put out last year called Expect Unexpected. And really, man, he's like the left side of my brain when it comes to this music. Now, keep in mind, me and this kid are almost 20 years apart. He's like my little brother, but he has an old soul and he understands sounds. He's the illest producer I've ever met in my life. And that's no slight to anybody that I ever worked with, but I'll continue to say that because he can do whatever they can do plus some. But what happened was with this particular project, man, I wrote it. We were heading into the pandemic planning on doing another album.
Okay. And
we actually sequenced the sounds and basically sequenced all the instrumentals 1 through 12. And the plan was to write it like a book from the beginning. So then the pandemic hits. And I had not put the pen in the pad yet. But as of March 13th, something happened. And we all know what happened, but something happened internally within me. and I already had the tracks laid out. And so that's when the story began. And I wrote this album in order, track 1 through track 12 in 2 months. I started March 13th. I was finished by Memorial Weekend, the weekend of the murder of Mr. George Floyd. And that's what this album speaks to and speaks about. It speaks about everything that transpired during that period, from social injustice to COVID-19 to even myself, like internally, just, giving you an inside look at, the things that I, go on in my brain with regards to gaining dominion over myself and things around me. And you can hear the story follow in line and in sequence, again, from March 13th. And I've never written an album that fast. I've never, but it felt like some of the stuff that I was writing, I had control over. Some of that stuff, man, the pen was just moving on its own. I promise you. And I don't know where it came from. And it was just, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I will say this, not only is this the most important album that I've ever written, but it's also my magnum opus, I believe. I believe this is clearly my best work.
So would you agree with me? Because it sounds like something, I was preaching this earlier today about how the energies are real, man. How the universe is real. So like you're saying, this is like some real coincidental, ironic stuff happening time-wise. And I started to show off talking about energy, man. Like we were talking, in Driveway Drinking, that I think that some of us either pay attention or not to energy. I think energy is real. And Black people, a lot of people will not want to admit it because Black people are the most, I'm not superstitious Negroes in the world, right? We are the most, I'm not superstitious, but everything we do says opposite. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do and how we move and what we believe in says total opposite. But we would hate for that label, so we go, I'm not superstitious. So when I talk,
Black folks are spiritual beings, man. We're spiritual.
Yes. There's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to hide from. I think people watch too much TV. And when you say words like energy, universe, spiritual, people go right to witchcraft and shit like that.
Exactly.
I think TV has warped what we have. God, it's a God-given thing to tap into. The universe and the people are one. Everything's one. Trees, water, animals. Like, so I believe that it's just the level of tapping into it or not. When I say energy is always there. But some people turn that thing off or don't want to. That's right. Don't want to read into it. So here we are. Like one thing. This is when I knew I was very aware of energy around me, and it's funny, but it's true. It was this chick I dealt with. Yeah. It's got to be it's about probably 10 years now. But 10 years ago, I meet this chick. Trey, I'm the first one to tell you. Like within dealing with this woman 24, 48 hours, I knew this chick was bad for me. And she wasn't a bad person. She was just bad for me. I was a go-getter. I'm productive, blah, blah, blah. And ass don't deter me from nothing, right? I'll get that. I'll have my fun, but I'm focused. But she was the girl that I had to regulate the time with her because I knew she was all bad for me in that essence. You know what I mean? But a beautiful person, but just bad for me. Right. So the fact that you can recognize that and move accordingly means you're in tune with the energy around you. Right. Like I'm never in denial. Even I may want, we men, we may physically want something and be like, oh, she bad, blah, blah. And we know that we just want that thing that we want and she's not part of the game plan.
That's right.
But it takes, you got to be in touch to recognize that and not be overwhelmed by your wants over your needs and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we talk about energy. Energy is the type of thing, bro. And I told a coworker of mine, girl works in my company, and she's been working with me 20 years. But she was like, when I said, I'm the type of person that when you come around, if somebody brings somebody new around, it give me about 5-10 minutes, I'm gonna get their energy. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be like, it's good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I mean? And if it's good, you'll know because the flow won't change at all. Right. I said, if it's bad or negative, you'll see me put my skates on. I'll put my roller skates on. Now I'm working the room. Like you try to figure out why T ain't standing in one place, right? Well, I got my skates on, I'm working the room because I don't want to be by the negative energy.
Right.
And I said, you know what the funniest part of that is? If I look back to every time I did that in a club or lounge or some public place, for whatever reason, now correct me if you ain't never noticed this, but it seems like when you put those skates on, it seems like bad energy starts to chase you.
Oh, damn right.
Like you'll find a corner, right? Whoever that person is, you'll find a corner over here away from them. They gonna find you in that corner. What up, Trey? What's good? You're like, damn, can't shake this dude. Good energy, we gotta follow and chase and seek out. But bad energy will follow your ass to the incinerator. You hear me?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
I thought it was funny. I'm like, damn, now that I think about it, because the girl was like, so in the instance where you get that bad or negative energy, how do you handle that? Like, where do you go? What did she say? Well, no, she said, what if you're somewhere like at a show, somewhere you have to be and you can't leave? I said, well, I don't leave. I said, I figure a way to jump on my skates and move around. Right. You know what I mean? But I won't be stagnated in a place because then it could beat me in the head with energy. And like I said at the beginning of the show, it is contagious. You know what I mean? Whether it's that night, whether it's your attitude when you grab the microphone, whether it's the drive home, it will attach itself to you in some form or fashion. Right. So I said, but what I won't do is I'm not a party pooper. Right. So if me and my crew meeting you and your crew, Trey, and we say, we'll be over there, and we sit at the bar, 3 of us, and you come in with one new dude I don't know, I'm gonna feel the energy, you know, and if it's good energy, we all good. Yeah. If I feel it's a little quirky, I get on the skates a little bit, but I'm not leaving y'all because we all hanging out. I'm not out there.
And it's almost like you gotta kind of address, not necessarily say, become buddy with the energy, but you gotta kind of take on that bad energy in order for it to dissipate, in order for it to just go away. Because if you don't combat the bad energy with your energy, then like you said, that energy is gonna chase you. So you gotta combat it in order for that bad energy to say, you know what, I'm really wasting my time over here. Let me just go.
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. So as a hip hop star, man, how many times more than not you find yourself in these positions that are either stagnating you or just anything anti-progressive, like it's not helping progress. It's not moving forward. You find yourself in that position a lot?
Prior to me having my family, my wife, my kids, absolutely, because there are a lot of people that want to attach themselves to you. There are a lot of people that want to leech on your energy. You see what I'm saying? Because they're bringing a certain type of energy that needs your energy, but you don't need that energy. You see what I'm saying? So before I got married and had kids, absolutely. But now it's almost like the bad energy sees that, oh, this shit is no nonsense over here. Like he's not really, like I and I know plenty of people that I will remain nameless that, still, remain mischief. I mean, they still in the mischief. They still,
right.
You know what I mean? You know what it is. You know what it is.
That's how you know you went to law school. Good word. Go
ahead. They still want mischief. They still want to, stick they pinky toe and shit. And I'm just like, nah, but they know that about me. They know I'll go out and drink, joke, all that shit. But when you start crossing lines and stuff, it's like, nah, Trey ain't gonna do that. Trey ain't, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like when you start talking about energy, people can see it, but like you said, people can see it before you even say a word, yo.
Yeah.
They can smell it, they can sense it, they feel it in the air, they see they smell the aroma, they know, whether or not he might rock with us, rock with the bad energy, or he ain't really, especially women. Women, because a lot of women, they try to test you, they try to see how far they can go, you know what I'm saying? Understanding your situation and circumstances.
Right.
They try to say, okay, you know what? Let me lean on him and see if he'll crack. But they can also look at you and say, nah, he ain't really going for it. You know what I'm saying? Some are more bolder than others, but for the most part. You know, they are real. They really pick up on energy, probably better than guys. No,
Men, yeah, absolutely,
they
absolutely.
do pick up on energy better than guys do. You see what I'm saying? So they
But
know.
that's that. But to see with women, that's pretty much a lot of things more than just mental and spiritual. And that's why I'm an advocate for telling young men to deal with older women early. Yep. Because when you deal with older women early, they catch you up. We got to realize the one thing that studies have proven decades ago, this ain't even new information, that they know that the female brain and everything, you know, moves faster. It's more advanced than us. So they know, like, if you take a 14-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, she's really 17 to his 14.
That's right.
So they know that on the average, you're talking 3-4 year difference. Mm-hmm. So the best thing that happened to me is as a young, like late teen turning into my 20, I got to deal with older women.
Right.
You know, not just upping your game sexually, but your noggin.
That's right.
You know, your knowledge and everything, all of that ups, all the antes up. Not just one side of the ante, all the antes up. So when you say that the energy and they pick up on it, you know, by all means, they do. You know what I mean? Any smart man, most smart men have had to be molded by several smart women. That's where that phrase comes from. That's where the phrase comes from, behind every good man. You know what I mean? That's a real fact, because every smart guy, when you see a guy talk, whether he's a news pundit, whether he's an author, a professor, whatever he is, a politician, when he talks and you can see the wisdom and smart, you go, you know what? Let me interview this guy. Let me talk to this guy. And I guarantee you, when you listen to his biography and his story, there's at least 2 to 4 women in that journey of intelligence.
Facts. My mom has 3 sisters. I was raised by a tribe of 4 women. Facts.
Yeah.
Fact. And on on my pop side of the family, which I didn't frequent as much, but there was 3 brothers and 5 sisters, 6 sisters. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Like that. You know, that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is.
It's crazy because I was raised by, like you, 3, 4 aunts, my mom, my grandmom. The dudes were always somewhere coming up, like whether they were in jail or the army, they were gone. You know what I mean? So it was all the women, 5 sisters, right? Mm-hmm. And coming up. So what it did for me is it put me ahead of the game. And then by the time I was like 20, 21, and started to do comedy, I didn't realize how ahead I was. Yep. And I had to, believe it or not, and no disrespect to dudes, I had to dumb it down for it to work.
No, that's real. That's real rap. That's real.
I had to dumb it back down for it to work. Dudes would pull me to the side. I would come up with clever ass, because, you know, my thing starting out was always like man-woman stuff, relationship stuff. And I remember dudes would pull me to the side. And don't mind the standing on I just got. They don't care about that shit. They put me to the side like, yo, bro, you telling too much. Like, you blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, am I? And I had to understand, like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Yep. Okay. So I had to go forward to the women, they in the pocket. To win the dudes over, make them kind of meet in the middle and win them over, I had to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the part of me is like, oh, I see why. I see why women step over y'all or pass over y'all or, you know, don't give you the time of day. I see it. Because, y'all both 25, but she's like a 30.
Yeah. Yeah. It's intellectual, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's all of that, man. Like if you again, like you said, women are more advanced than on average. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, you got your exceptions.
On average, yeah. You got exceptions to the rule, but on average, the numbers don't lie. You know, everything. So shout out to all the women out there. When we talk Motivation Monday, we talk motivation, period. We talking our brilliant minds out there, them sisters and queens that first of all bring the light forth. Absolutely. To be smart. The light don't even come without y'all, but the light y'all shine on us and help us along the way. Appreciate all the sisters out there. So Trey Lee, the album's Glory, bro, is already out, right? Tell the people where they can get it and all that.
Yeah, TracyLeeMusic.com, TraceYlee music.com, or you can go and subscribe to the Tracy Lee Experience and get the album with the subscription at Patreon, patreon.com/Tracy Lee Music.
Nice.
These are the only places that you can get it. You can't go to Amazon. You can't go to Tidal. You can't go to Spotify. You can't. We're not putting on streaming platforms, at least as of now. These are the only two places that you can get it, man. And like I said, I put it on everything, man. This is, and with my brother Ojez, this has to be my magnum opus, man, from beginning to end.
Well, listen, man, I need to get you to New York, man. You need to come this way since we're doing these outdoor drive-in shows, man.
Let's
the
do
people
it.
coming out for them too, man. Let's make this thing happen.
Absolutely.
Oh, when are you going live? Now tell the people you going, because you still do your live thing with the music.
Absolutely. Now that we finished the album, actually the first verses, which I came up with way before the verses that you know, but that's neither here nor there. We don't care.
Right.
We're gonna do an album battle between Glory, part of the promotion, and Many Faces. We're gonna stand them next to each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
smart.
I'm gonna let you know, and I'm gonna show you in real time why I think Glory is the magnum opus. Now you got to keep in mind, we're going up against Big, we're going up against Buster, and we're going up against the theme is Party Time. And I'm telling you, Glory is gonna stand.
Wow, that's deep, man. That's a lot said, man. That's a lot to say. Well, my brother, you know, I do appreciate your time. You know that, and you know, much success. And you know me, man. Let me be whatever vehicle you need me to be, brother. Do not hesitate to call. Anything you need, your brother talent is there, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you, boy. Absolutely, man. Thank you. God bless you and the fam. Hope y'all being safe and all that good stuff, man. Tell my man Q I said what up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text him in a minute.
Yeah. Shout out to Q Diddy, baby.
Yeah,
Q Diddy up in Buffalo, holding the
sir.
business down, man, making it happen. Oh, before I let you go, Trey, real quick, DJs, top five.
Who? Let's go. I'm from Philly, so you
I know that's right.
You asked the right one. You asked the right one.
Oh, wait a minute. Before you answer that, speaking of that, I'll be out there Labor Day.
Oh, really?
In Philly, we got the big show at Citizens Park. The big outdoor. Yeah, Blackson, Michael Blackson, me, Capone. Yeah. So, hey, man, it'll be a nice homecoming for you. And the reason I said that because DJ Jazzy Jeff is DJing.
Well, see, I got Cash and Jazz 1 and 2. Cash Money and Jazzy Jeff 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Whatever order you want to put them in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Number 3, I gotta go with Flash. Number 4, I'm going with Kid Capri. And number 5, I will go with. This is a tough one. And I don't mean to leave nobody out, but I might have to go with. Oh man, this is tough.
Yeah.
Those four mainstays, they've always been, but number 5 switches. It's like who?
That's true.
I'm gonna leave 5 open, man. I'm gonna leave 5 open.
Wow.
5 open.
So you know what the thing about DJing is? The funny thing about DJing is, my brother, we could break it down and say, are we talking about a party DJ or skills? That's why. See, yeah. So we could do that because if we go skills, we can't leave out scratch.
I was thinking about scratch. I was thinking about Primo because of the fact I'm thinking about man. I mean, who you got? Let me hear your 5.
Well, see, if I just do a general 5, I got
just 5. Yeah, just 5. And I mean, this is encompassing all of the categories.
Right.
You're about to break it down. That's why I put Kid Capri in there, because to me, he's my favorite part. Like he's the switchblade. He's the Swiss Army knife. He can do it all.
Well, Kid got to be in there first. You know, like you shouted, I'm from New York, so New York, I gotta throw cats in there like Red Alert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Flash got to be in that 5.
Yeah.
You're right with Flash, Red Alert, Kid Capri. Then the last 2, I'm looking at a Brucey B and a Chuck Chill Out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, those are my guys. Those are my guys, man.
But it's tough though, because it's so many. When you talk about DJing, we got the S&S out there.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? We got Knuckles.
That's
we
what
got damn. Like, it just goes
Clue
on and on.
You got, you know what I mean? Like,
man.
You know what I mean?
Don't forget Clue. Clue was that dude. That's how Clue got on. Clue's
right,
that dude.
So 5, I'm gonna put Red Alert, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Red Alert, if it wasn't for Red Alert, there would be no thing. He was the one that told all them underlinks that, and this is real, this is a true story. Like, you know, I got denied, the theme got denied by so many DJs in New York, and I think it was because I was never in them circles.
Right.
Red Alert was the one that said, nah, this shit is fire. And as soon as he said it, it caused the domino effect. And, you know, next thing you know, we on Battle of the Beats on Hot 97 and all this other stuff. But if it wasn't, Red Alert is the one that put the cosign on it. It was throwing it against the wall.
There you have it.
Red Alert made it stick.
There you have it. Thank you, Tracy. Trey Lee, y'all, TracyLee.com. Come on now, get that music, man. Glory, release right now. I love you, my brother. Nothing you can do about that. I see you soon.
My man.
Salute, man. That's what I'm talking about. Motivation Mondays. You know, that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to bring these positive people through. Yeah, I'm going to have my word. I'm going to preach a little bit. But more importantly, I'm gonna back it up. You know, I'm going to talk it up, but I'm going to bring people in here that can back it up. And to listen to these people, what they do, and the perseverance, the trials and tribulations to get to the point that they have made it to their pinnacle, kudos to them. And that can be you. We all human. We share this universe, man. And we're all synonymous with this thing. So don't short yourself. Don't put yourself less than any man or woman. We all in this thing together. It's been another wonderful motivation month. I hope you got inspired, if not by Trey Lee's story, by KB's story. You know, KB is guilty and innocent at the same time by association, great association. Kicking it with KB is 12:30, IG Live. Check him out on Saturdays. Kevin Bracey's my boy. Thank you to Trey Lee coming through doing the damn thing. Thank you to KB, who had to take a break at work and go into the closet or something to do that interview portion as well. But if you don't remember anything from today, in closing, what we started with, the circles are important. So when I come on Monday and I say, how was your weekend? I'm talking about how was your weekend? Were you roaming in the right circles? Was you around the right energy? Was it too heavy? Because sometimes we accidentally fall into that too heavy bracket and take on more than we can handle. So energy's real. It's in the universe. You put it out there. What you put out there always comes back. It's your boy Talent. Stay motivated. It's another Monday, man. Let's go.